Hi, I'm Jody.
And I'm Mariah.
And we're Beargrass Thunder.
And we're here at Roland Street Alley for one of our last final alley updates, probably before it gets cold and frosts here in Kentucky.
So without further ado, we're going to show you what just a few months of planting in an alley can do for a neighborhood and do for a community. You can see that the insects have been eating what people haven't.
Probably the cabbage moths.
It's all right for cabbage to have holes in it and for the vegetables to not just feed people, but also feed the ecosystem.
Yeah, just because we didn't eat it doesn't mean something did. More cabbage.
Look at these cabbages.
My cabbages. Look how tall they are. Almost come up to my head.
And so we've been mulching to try to keep the weed cover down and just to try to spotlight the actual agricultural uses, as well as some of the aesthetics. We do have crepe myrtle here, which is flowering for a large part of the year, and it did take. So we're happy about that.
Probably do good over winter.
Yeah, and you know, again, we try to go with natives as much as we can, but when people donate and want to help the cause, we do try to facilitate. But and with cabbage, what's really neat is that you can actually just harvest the leaves, and as long as you have enough plants, you won't have to kill the plant or completely destroy all the leaves off of one plant in order to have an entire harvest. You can see how big these leaves are.
Had a good meal.
And when you're done with the leaves that you don't want, you can actually just drop them and they make compost all on their own.
Cover, yeah.
Remember that any leaf you see is actually going to shade bare soil. So it's really important to have.
Our spicebush did well. If you guys remember from the state of the alleys, we did have to move them from up towards the alley into this section of the alley. So we're very proud that these spicebush took well, even being moved midsummer. And
they turned such a brilliant yellow.
Yes,
I really love the color on this.
Yes. Oh my gosh, this is actually a little head of cabbage. Oh, I'm gonna pluck them.
You're gonna pluck them?
I'm gonna pluck them. It's a cabbage. Damn. Oh, good job.
A lot of flowers that we want to intersperse with anything we do, because the flowers bring bugs and the bugs bring birds.
The milkweed did great in the alley.
Look at how good this milkweed did.
This milkweed did better than the milkweed that we actually had in our own personal yard.
If this was Roundup like it was before, none of these flowers would exist. None of these thousands of blooms.
Yeah, just for the record, it is November 1st, 2020. So it's pretty cold outside. I'd say it's probably in the 50s today. So you can kind of see, though, we still have all these blooms coming out here. We had a plethora of leaves. I mean, for any monarch that came through here, this would have been a great way station. Same for this. We got our spicebush number 2. And this would be great for, again, this, you know, spicebush swallowtail.
Oh, those are milkweed aphids.
Milkweed aphids?
Yeah,
oh,
so
a million.
One plant can actually sustain an entire ecosystem of insects that actually use this as a host plant. So these aphids, these little yellow dots, are eating the milkweed sap. And in turn, the milkweed bugs will actually eat the aphids or harvest the aphids in some way. That's a bok choy, actually.
Bok choy?
Look at these bok choy.
It does look different. Whoa!
Look at that! And this was not existing in the alley just 4 months ago.
Just even though we're not eating it, you can see something had a snack on it. And you'll see that the root bundle here is just a small portion of what Jody actually pulled out of the ground. There's all these roots that he just ripped off. All those roots are gonna stay in there. They're gonna decompose, they're gonna die, and they're gonna add to the natural construction of this shitty dirt that was on the side of this alley. But now is full of roots, decomposing minerals and kind of oxidizing back the earth and bringing back what you need.
So again, each one of these leaves, once they're on the ground, will be great compost. And anything that we do in Roland Street, we want to try to be as maintenance-free as we can for the residents here.
And we are not eating the lettuce this year just because we did not get this soil tested at all, which is easy to do. And if you're interested in finding out what your soil's made of, it's always something to look into. But because this was just a, you know, concept project, we didn't get the soil tested, but we wanted to see how everything did grow. But we still believe that, you know, because the environment's eating it and it's eventually going back into everything, this was a huge success, even though we're not consuming the vegetables.
I mean, for a proof of concept that nobody thought would work. Look at how many flowers have been able to grow in Roland Street.
Oh, look, this is a really big milkweed.
This is a rose milkweed,
Wow.
same one, but I just love it so much.
That's kale. It's the sunflower.
And don't kick that.
Okay, I won't. I was going to.
The reason that it's important to leave the flower stems is that these stems over the winter actually become hollow.
Huh.
So bees actually will seek out stems that are above ground to be used as nesting sites for new eggs.
Man, and I was just going to kick it for fun.
But do you see the hollow in the top?
Yeah, now that you mention it, I do.
Whenever people use a space, a lot of times alleys are used as a dumping ground. And so what we have here, you know, this is more of the needles that we find usually on a daily basis, but you know, we do our best to keep that down. And one of the ways that we actually keep the needle count down is if you have a milk jug at home, you can actually use that as a good storage container if you want to take that risk upon yourself.
Of course, you're always taking a risk when picking up biohazards. If you're going to do it with the right proper gear. You need proper PPE, which is personal protection equipment. You know, you're gonna make sure you have gloved hands, thick gloves if you can. You know, like garden gloves are good. You know, I would recommend not touching the needle in any way with your human being fingers, even gloved or not. A grabber would always be better. And what Jody's saying is absolutely correct. If you don't have a sharp spin, one of those red containers for needles, you can absolutely use an empty milk container, fill it to your pleasure, tape up the top with duct tape, and that's a perfectly legal way to dispose of needles.
So more kale over here, and around here is where my wood chip pile went down a little bit. So I was only able to finish this section at the moment. But what I love about these wood chips and using them as mulch is we've been able to spotlight all of the cabbages. That's actually cabbage.
Is it?
Yeah, but it just didn't get as much sunlight.
It's okay.
Well, let's actually do a cabbage count.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We got 1, 2 cabbage.
2 cabbages.
3 cabbage. That's kale. Cabbage.
Each the head's cabbage.
Yeah.
4, 5, 6. 7, 8. That's bok choy.
Not a cabbage.
Not a cabbage.
But we do have 2 cabbages here.
What's that? 7, 8, 9.
10, 11.
11. 12.
12.
14. 15. 16.
17. 18. 19.
20. 22 cabbages.
22 cabbages. Alright, well thank you so much for watching our Roland Street Alley update. We are just so happy to show you the changes that we've been able to make in such a short time.
Remember, we're Beargrass Thunder. We're running our Roland Street Alley concept project. That's a separate page that we'd love for you to check out and like. Of course, check us out on all of our social media. Beargrass Thunder is on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and of course, always check out our website, www.beargrassthunder.com.
We have an amazing new project that we are raising money for. This mural right here with a design by Often Seen, Rarely Spoken. We are already 25% of the way funded. We just need a little bit more support.
It's gonna go right where that old ad was, and we're really excited for you to check it out. Again, it's a separate page, our Roland Street Alley concept page. It is run by Beargrass Thunder, and we'd love for you to donate.
Thank you.